on 95.3 FM in Windhoek, Desert Radio. The Bold Voice.
Bringing us to 7:41 here on Desert Radio 95.3 FM on this Friday morning. Now, we do have the honor of having Hishishi Papa in studio with us this morning, and we're going to dive into some conversation with the musician, fine arts artist, as well as Pan-Africanist that is Papa Shikongeni. But of course, we all know him as Hishishi Papa. Good morning. How are you?
Blessed. The morning is rising and we're thankful for the Creator that we are all alive today.
Absolutely. We are indeed thankful, and I think that's a good way to start the morning, just giving thanks and being happy that we woke up.
Yep.
Well, we're going to dive right into it, and honestly, today is just about taking some time to get to know you, talk a little bit about, the things that inspire you, the things that drive you, and of course, the spirit that leads you, because we also do know that you are a very spiritual individual. But to start us off, I think let's just start with your origin story. Who is Papa Shikongeni? Where is he from? What is he about?
Pan-African philosophical artist, that's Papa Shikongeni. That's my father's name. My name is Ndadi Hishikushija. Yashikongeni. I am a child of the late Meme Elizabeth Namutenya Namakariamshenji Anakandungire. Onkwankara Onkuta. That is a totem, a zimo. And I'm the son of Gabriela Shikongo Shanunyango Onawasine Amtota Onkwanamba Onkusinda. So born in Windhoek, where you now seeing the building that is called Home Affairs, the new Home Affairs. There was an old hospital, is where I was born.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good that the hospitals became Home Affairs as children still, the birth certificates. So, and I grew up in Okahanja with my late grandmother, Panduleni Fina Simeoni. It's also in the albums that I sing about her to respect her and to thank her. And so coming back to Windhoek again, and then I schooled also in Windhoek. From there, I went to exile because my father was an activist. He was a politician in those years. So then the spirit called me in Luanda, in Vienna. Just get sick for a while. I don't know why and how. For a month, I was gone. Coming back from where I was gone, I found myself back to HGS Tradom. It was now Hosea Kutako Airport. So when I come back, I was looking for a job as a soldier because I was a sniper. So I think the spirit of my ancestors, they did not want me to become a soldier. So from there, I then become a visual artist through the mentor of Joseph Mauricio. And then I become a musician by birth. I was born a musician. So in the 90s, when I was young, 22 years, 23 years, then I became a visual artist. But music was my first thing. But because when I met Joseph Mauricio, he told me, I think music is going to be difficult for you because you have too many people in music, the guitarist, the drummist, the bass guitar, so you guys will go and fight. It's good if you discipline yourself first with visual art. Visual art yourself, you become self-conscious and self-confidence. So that's what I do for 10 years. And then I become a musician. So I have a big sister, that is Nakakure, then me, then Dirimeke, and then we have Himalena, and then we have Ndapoa, and then we have Angula. And those are my siblings to my mother. My father, we are 14. One life passed us away. Yeah, so I'm a Namibian child, and I'm very proud to be an Ambo child, meaning Ambo because Vambo people are called Ambo from DRC. We are from the Ambo village. And why I'm saying that I'm very proud to be a Vambo is because I would like to let Namibian to understand we must be proud by our names and we must be proud by our tribes. Our tribes is what make us to be Namibians. It's not tribalism. It is a wrong concept that people think if I say you are Damara, Herero, is tribalism. No, that is the identity. If we can embrace that identity, that if I call you Dama, call you Herero, Vambu, be happy because you are a Namibian. You know, if I call you Bur, be happy, Kalat, have that embracing happiness. That is you. I don't know why people deny when I call you, hey, you Damara, then you are angry. No, that's what you have to embrace. That's what I spiritually believe in. is human. Yeah.
Now, Papa, I find it very curious. You speak of your names or your family names with so much reverence. You speak of your identity, where your people come from, with so much reverence and pride. When did that start to develop in you, that you started taking so much pride in these things?
It started when you become an artist. You see, when I became an artist in the 90s, and then you express your cultures, your spirituality, your visions, your daily life of your people. So for me to make it in the art world is because I was showcasing my culture, the life of my people. So within that, one becomes proud of who you are. And you also start to understand who you are. Because when you travel to world in Europe and have exhibition there, and you see most of the European people will buy artworks that speaks about me, about my culture. They won't buy artwork that speaks about landscapes or what abstract art or paint, but when it's touching, so they buy that. And then from there, I realized that because our independence, when we got independence, my sister, it was about the flag and ID. So when I started to go to Europe and sell my artwork, I realized the independence of cultural independence was not done. So then I decided to embrace culture, to showcase culture. And by showcasing culture and in my heritage, it is me. It becomes myself. So I just decided that this is me on my own identity, so that also the world outside there can understand our culture as Namibian people, not as a landscape and as a country that was colonized. So it is only that when you start loving yourself, love starts with yourself. And when you start to appreciate the creator who made you who you are, and then nature becomes one. So you have that power, you have that embracing, you have that courage to be who you are. And I hope if all Namibians could see that what you are is where you are. So if you live in Namibia, why not showcasing Namibia? And if you live in Namibia and you speak the language Herero Damara Tswana, why not embracing that language? You see, but at the end of the day, even though we speak in English today, it's because of nationalism. We have different tribes. But if we are all together sitting and we have Ambus or Damaras, Hereros, why not just speaking the language? Why we not eat that kind of food, So for me, it's simple. It's just to live, and by living is by loving the Creator. And by loving the Creator is by becoming you, because your soul is God. So if your soul is God himself in you, so you are God. So then you'll not have problem to let others to starve. When you see people having problem with suffering, they call it poverty. I don't know what poverty is, but they say poverty. So when also they call about we have not enough education system or the education is good, it's not about education. It is us losing our souls as human. Why not loving ourselves as human, Then we live. So my life is just like that.
And Papa, I'm sure that, when you're a young person, right, a lot of times your mind is focused on other things. You're so focused on either your school, your career. You don't really tap into that spiritual sense of yourself. So just thinking about your own journey, at what point did it start that you really started tapping into yourself, tapping into, if I can call it, your godliness, to say that, I'm a spiritual being, I'm a spiritual creature, and this is how I can think of the world rather than the traditional senses in which we are attuned to the world?
It's a good question, because one thing that when do you start? But we don't know that we are spiritual being already from birth. Within my mother's womb, the heaven, I'm already spiritual. So it's only to activate. When did I activate it?
Yes, yeah.
So I activated by living with my grandmother, because my grandmother was someone who was a spiritual and a more spiritual healer, who works with nature, with herbs. And she was also giving birth to mothers. So she was massaging in a cultural way. You have two different massage. The Western massage and then there's a spiritual massage. So living with her as a child is a memory. You inherit it by, nowadays you can say by recording. You see? So a mind of a child is in a hard drive that keeps the memories. So it was with me by seeing my grandmothers and the people that was living with my grandmother. And most of the time, the generation, the new age differ from everybody. So my new age was more, people were more cultural, people were more united together because they were living in apartheid. So sometimes I say apartheid is good because you love each other. You start to unite to each other. Freedom is wicked. You see, so when you get freedom, you start to hate each other as Namibians or as tribes. So the spirit that I live with from my childhood is a spirit that awakens subconsciously. You see, so, and then the understanding of visions. When I say vision, of dreams. We grew up in a childhood of when I wake up, my grandmother, my mother asked me, what did you dream? And the dream was a spiritual being. Because when you sleep, you go in another spiritual world. You live three worlds. I say you live three worlds. You live the world when you are sleeping. You live the world of physical one. You live the world when you use drugs, alcohol. You see?
Yeah.
Because when you're drunk, you're in another spirit.
Yeah.
And people don't know that.
Yeah.
When you're in drugs, you're in another spirit. So you live three spirits to me. So I decided to live a spiritual world where I connect with nature. And by connecting nature, by recognizing that you are my sister or you are my daughter. I don't worry about your name. I don't worry about your tribe, but I see human. So I only going to respect your tribe, your name accordingly. So, and that sense of coming spiritual is already with you, in me, and is already with you. It's how you approach it and how you activate it. And that's what I tell people, everybody's spiritual. Only, as you said, we are only confused by the cult that we inherited after. Because there's a cult of religion, cult of traditions, you see, and cultures. And most of us have been born in a group of cultural beliefs, religion beliefs, but we were not given the freedom to emancipate. Yeah, so emancipated to understand, even though I'm a Vambo, proud to be a Vambo, I emancipated myself that I'm so proud to see the Herero in me. Yes. I'm so proud to see a Dama in me. Dama is Damaras. They call him Dama. It's only that now they say Damaras. It's Dama people. Because they Dama and they're the first people in Namibia to come. So spirituality, it is also the heart. When I say the heart, is then when you recognize the other person that is a human. It's when you recognize that you need to work together as a unity. You see, they have a word say, unity. It's community. So you come together and unite.
Okay.
That's how I use my words. Yeah, you understand? So I always look at things like that. The words that they give us, and if you filter them, you realize, it's community. So if you come together and unite, we become a unity.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that was, we are lacking the terms of the word. Yeah. So, and to me is be free, just like a bird. You know, we are worried today because we have nothing. But those who worry is those who have. You see, those who have is the ones that worry. Yeah. Me and you can have breakfast today, this morning, but we're still worried.
Yeah.
What about the guy who's just sitting at the robot? What the guy who says this crazy, who's just picking up food in there? He must be more worried than we. So spirituality is you, who you are. Spirituality is nature. Spirituality is the creator. You see, so to me, I just feel like people, if you are spiritual, you recognize God within you already. That's the two different. And then they say religion and spirituality is the same. No. Religion is that you believe in what you are given. Yeah. For example, you know Friday, Saturday, you go into have fun, makiti, and get drunk and insult and everything. Well, you know tomorrow morning, Sunday, you go to church to be forgiven. That's religion. So you don't recognize God already with you before you drink. To realize, no, I must not drink because I'm being sin. Spirituality, you know already. That I don't have to take that, it's not mine. Because God already with me here, he sees that I'm stealing. You know, so spirit is being you. And spirit is the mother. You are the womb of a spirit. You created me. That's all. So maybe that way we can respect our mothers and our daughters. We will not rape them. You see? We will respect our mother in that way if you realize that we came from that spirit of womb. And also if our mother also can realize that we need to respect that we are the womb to create the nation, the sons that we deny, the boys that we deny, the mothers, you have to bring my love back. Just short time.
He was actually just telling me a little bit about the meaning of this song and just explaining, the generational, how do I even put it? I don't really know how to put it in simple terms, but essentially, just the generational passing down of wisdom, of care, and what that means for us, sustaining our generations from our great-grandmother to our grandmother to the child that is making that person a grandmother or a great-grandmother. Very deep stuff there. And we've been speaking about spirituality with Hishishi Papa. And just now I made a comment that life is distracting, right? Because I was saying it would be so beautiful if we could all tap into this. And I said that life is distracting. And he said to me, in fact, it's not life that is the distraction. It is your mind that is distracting you from life. Yeah. And I think that is so deep and so beautiful. I think we're going to shift gears just a little bit and delve into, talking about your music. And I think also your music reflects the way that you navigate life, your mindset. So just talk to us a little bit about that. You said that music has been in you since childhood, since your inception. So when you sit down and you make music, how do you come to put these messages into song, and what inspires that process?
When you sit down, it's not really an issue. When you start to cry, when they slap your bums, that's the issue. Why do they slap you when you are born? It's to see if you have a sound. And that sound is a cry. And the cry is the music. So every human, to me, can sing because they can cry. So I don't really sit down and think about what must I write. It's spiritual. It is in me. When you have a concerned spirit, it haunts you. So my music comes within sleeping, dreaming. They say dream me, I say visions. I'm only going to dream when I get 70s. When you're old, you dream. When you're young, you have visions. Okay. I see visions. So, and then it's the society that you're living in. You look at the society and you see how the society is disturbed within the system. Because most of my music is more about my culture, about spirituality, about the daily life of people, and also about the confusion of people. Where there is a song that I also did, the rhyme is the same. Makovi is most those big birds that extract a smaller chicken from the ground. So they are taking something from the ground. Okukodira is when you keep something like for yourself. You don't want anybody to eat. And that was talking about politicians. In a way, because I don't speak it straight. I use it, they call proverbs in my music. So my music is proverbs for us to identify. The other song is called Shirime Kundota Shiriekunde. What is it in the beans, it's the beans. So those who are in the house and things get lost in the house are the ones who are still in the house. So my music comes from you. Looking at you. My music comes from the youth, looking at the youth. My music comes from my elders, looking at my elders, what they are doing. So what I look in the music, I look also in people in life. I look for humanity and I look for the love. And I think I suffered for that for many years, but now I'm free. Where I could not see the love through the people, and then you start hating people. Because you have it and you realize that they have it and you are thinking, what is wrong with them? And then you came to realize it's the system. But it's not the system, it's the human beings. Because they are the one who created the system. Yeah. And then we blame the system. But it's the human being. System is just a word. So we as the humans. So I'm most inspired also from my childhood growth. Yeah, how I grew up. I grew up in the townships of Okahanja, where we had no tribalism. Is why I speak Oshirero, Damara, Vambo, Afrikaans, because I could eat in every house. I could sleep in every house. If it's late, I sleep at that house. It's not today's generation. My child cannot sleep at the neighbor. My child cannot eat at the neighbor, because after independence, we become individual personality people. You see, there is no Ubuntu anymore, but within the time of the colonial regime, where Ubuntu, I start thinking, what is going on? There was love in the past. So all the guys who grew up with me, their mothers are my mothers, and my mothers were their mothers. So that also get into me so that I can spread it, the message. Because we are messengers. We are all messengers. We are not teachers. We are not musicians. We are not artists. We are messengers. We have to give the message to the next generation, for the next generation to live a life that is more easy. So, and I play traditional. I use my traditional rhythms, sound, because I know that most of us have lost the originality of Namibian rhythm. Well, we have it already. We have it from Tatequela. We have it from Jackson Koyewa. Yeah. You understand? We have it from Ahue. So for me also, that's why I keep the traditional rhythm. Hand clapping, it is our culture, because we are Bantu people, we are African people. The drums, the mbira in my music. So it is not about only my lyrics. It's not about my songs. The way I'm singing, it's all about the instrument as well in my music. That makes music. That makes Hishishi Papa. Not my vocal. It's the instrument in my music. Yeah. And that instrument in my music is also the hand of the musician, because my music is live music. Yeah, yeah. So that unites my music. You see, so without those artists who are playing instrument in my music, Hishishi Papa does not exist. But the good thing is that you as a musician have to give the sound and the rhythm you want. And also without your producer, my producer engineer, Arafat, there's no Hishishi Papa. That's where we lack to understand that I cannot be up there alone. Is a lie. If we start to embrace that, we are all together. My musician, Hishishi Papa, and the engineer, Arafat, is up there. You see, so in that way, we will create music. So you are my music, my sister. In short, you are my music. Yeah.
Now, Hishishi Papa, I think that your music can be described as out of the ordinary. It's a unique sound. It's a unique experience to listen to your music, and you create the kind of music that completely transcends time. It's music that is going to live with us for years and years and years, right? And I think a lot of criticism comes for newer artists that. How do they call it? Bubblegum music, bubblegum pop, right? So what is this, how do I put this question? What is this disconnect that, newer artists have, newer musicians have with their music, where it's almost just like churning out content to make money, perhaps, but not quite being proverbial, if I can use that as a word. Like you said, your music is a proverb, right? There's a message, and it comes from within you. It comes from the people that you interact with. So what is this disconnect that we have with, modern day music? Not that your music isn't modern, but the way music is made now. Why is there such a disconnect in how it is put forward?
I love 2 things or 3 things from you. You mentioned money. And I love the one you mentioned now, modern. You see, and then young people. We have ignorant within ourselves. Money have become the source of the society. Yeah. We don't have, I'll make you laugh now, we don't have humanity. We have manity. Do you get me?
Yes, yeah.
I always tell people, the world is living now in manity. Money. I don't respect human anymore. I respect those with money. So maybe the young people are inheriting from these people who bring the capitalism and change it into economical development. It's capitalism. Yeah. You see. So They are disconnected. All of us, we are disconnected to be proud who we are. That's what we are. And Namibia have become a culture of copycat.
Yeah.
We copy. We don't want to be originality. The world outside there is looking for Namibia originality. Why is it Senegal so well known Mali? Why is it so well known Zimbabwe? Why is it so well known South Africa? Why is it well known in those music or art? It's because they have their originality. Even Nigeria, the young Nigerian boys, they sing the music taking the rhythm of their cultures, Uruba. You see? So the Namibian young people, you are the richest musician that the world is waiting for, not copying from South African, Nigerian beat. So, modern. I always tell people when they say, Kwera is not modern. What is modern?
That's a good question.
What is modern? Is modern the rhythm or the instrument of the Western or the technology of the Western? Because you are not modern. If you are my child and you are making new music, you still have a Shwambo in your tongue, Herero in your tongue. Are you modern by the way you speak English or sing in English? And Papa Shikongeni is not modern because he's speaking Oshwambo? Which is modern? I live modern life. My music is modern because I'm in the moment. This moment is modern, moment of modern life, as you're saying. So, what we have to clarify or differentiate is what is the message within our music.
Yeah.
I don't care you play hip-hop. I don't care you play amapiano, African house, R&B, African music, reggae. No. What is it within the message that will empower and give peace and happiness to my baby? What is my child going to learn from it, the youth going to learn from it, so that we can change? My music, I play different music.
Yeah.
When I play with Dice, it's African rock and R&B.
Yeah.
You see? When I played with Bricks, it's also African and they are rapping. So the music, for me, is that the young people, maybe in short, they must try to knock in the darkness, because within the darkness there's light. Don't just see there's darkness. There's a light because there's a star. So they can go and knock in the guru's doors and then see the rhythm and then fuse that music of the cultures with the new, and then we become somebody else in Namibia. Yeah. So they are good musicians. It's maybe not education, but parenting. Yeah, maybe it's just to be parented.
Definitely. I think all craftsmen need mentorship,
Yes, yeah.
need guidance in terms of, going about their art and their creation.
Exactly.
And on that note...